Welcome to Playing the Big, Beautiful Long Game, where entrepreneurship meets spirituality. In this podcast, we explore the intersection of personal fulfillment, spiritual growth, and business success. This podcast delves into the idea that entrepreneurship is not just about profits or growing businesses. It's also about embracing purpose, meaning, and inner growth. Each episode features conversations with entrepreneurs and thought leaders who share their journeys of building businesses that align with their highest values and deepest calling. I'm your host, Debbie Zeta. Sit back, relax, and thank you for being here. Welcome, beautiful Iris. Can you please let us know who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, I'm Iris Saar and I design and make contemporary jewellery.
You do, and you're amazing.
Thank you.
You're one of those very humble souls. And then when you kind of dig a little bit deeper and you find out the things that you've done, you kind of go, okay, hang on, let's order a coffee and maybe a cake. And can you please chat to me? So can you, and I know this might feel, or I shouldn't assume how you might feel, but it can be challenging to share about our accolades. I think especially for women, it's not something that we're kind of taught to do. But in this podcast, that's part of what we're doing here is shining a light on beautiful, amazing women. So, yeah,
Thank
can you
you.
share with us where you traveled, what you've done, who you've worked with, like some of those amazing things?
Okay, so I own a design business that focuses on contemporary jewellery, and I've had the studio for 17 years now. I can't believe it's 17 years. And I design my contemporary jewellery that is a bit out of the ordinary, and it's really targeted at women that are looking for something very individual, different, and resonates with women that are looking for something a bit different that makes a statement, makes them feel amazing, and it's very creative. So, actually, the whole journey of starting this business was actually it was on a whim. It wasn't planned. There was no business plan as such. I used to make jewelry that was still contemporary, but more traditional in materials, so using gold and diamonds and pearls and all that. And then when my daughter was about 3 years old, I got an email from Craft Victoria, which is the local makers body. They sent an email wanting local makers to make a product for Christmas. And at the time, my daughter, being a 3-year-old, she was obsessed with drawing those circle dot dot arms and legs, and she would draw hundreds of them. And I was in love with them. So I framed about 30 of them, and I thought I just loved that. And that was sort of my focus at the time. And when the email came from Craft Victoria, I was like, oh my God, I just love that. I want to create something along that line. And my focus was to create something quite naive and quite spontaneous and colorful and not so expensive. Because prior to that, I was working with the gold and the diamonds, so the prices were much higher. And I wanted something that was accessible and a bit different. So I unrolled the IKEA paper roll on the floor with my daughter with her crayons and started doodling. And I came up with quite a few sort of scribbles. And being a full-time mum at home with my daughter, I said to my husband, can you please take those drawings to work and let me know what people think? He went to work, he came home and he goes, I'm so sorry, but nobody liked it. Keeping in mind, my husband is an accountant and financial advisor, and that is the environment that he took it into. I didn't even think of that at a time,
Not quite your target
and
audience, perhaps.
definitely not my target
Right.
audience. And he came back and he goes, nobody liked it, and I really don't advise you should go ahead with it. And I was like, well, I love it. I'm going with it. And he goes, no, it's not a good investment. And I said, I don't care. I'm going with it. So I created 70 very colorful scribbly brooches and took them to that design market. And they sold out.
Oh,
And then very shortly after, I think a week later, I got a phone call or an email from the NGV wanting that selection, that collection to the NGV shop. And I was like, sorry, but I sold out and I'm going back to my normal life of creating expensive jewelry for the galleries. And they were like, they did something that they never usually do, they actually gave me a deposit in advance to create the collection for them. So then I did. I created a collection of brooches for the NGV. And soon after, it sort of spread to all the other state museums. So it was the Gallery of New South Wales, Western Australia, South Australia, and so on. And within 6 months, I was stocked in all the top museums in Australia. And I was like, oh, okay, so what's now? And then we decided to go to do a trade show in London. So
Okay.
we did Top Draw trade show in London, and I had two very significant interactions. The first one was with the buyers from the V&A, the Victoria and Albert Museum,
Okay.
and they sent eight buyers to the show where they collect business cards of things that they like. And they came to me and they said, look, we really like your product, but your chances to be selected are very, very slim. You go through a selection process and you go through committees, and you might hear from us within 3 months and you might not. And they said, don't hold your breath, but if you do, we'll take it further. 3 months later, I got an order. It was the biggest order I've ever gotten. It was 350 pieces. It was
Wow.
insane. So that was like a major breakthrough. And the other breakthrough was that I don't know if you know what it is, but there's a thing that's called trend forecasting books. So big design companies like Country Road or big
Yeah.
chains,
Yeah.
they would be following a trend forecast. So in that trend forecast, big design companies would forecast what they think the next season will include. That
Yeah.
includes colors and shapes and materials and whatever.
Yeah.
And they included my our brooches as their trend focus for the year. It was like, oh my
Oh
God,
my
that is
God.
incredible.
That's
Yes,
huge.
that was incredible.
Yes.
And as I said, it was never really a business plan. It was never really planned to be like a full blast thing, but it was just, it evolved that way. And then soon after, there was another thing that Tourism Australia, they did an event in America that's called Good Day USA,
Huh?
which is basically introducing Australia to the celebrities in the USA. And they chose InSync brooches as one of the gifts. And it was
Oh my
like,
God.
okay. So that was another foray. And then after that, I started going to the trade shows in America, and I've done them for 15 years. And the funny thing was that when I started all these trade shows, both in Australia and in America, and then in Europe, I never really had a target market. I just basically did what I loved. And organically, the people that were attracted to it were museum curators and buyers. And it was like, okay, so this is my niche target market, but it was never really planned that way. It just evolved into it. And for 15 years, that's what I did. I sort of designed a collection each year and then launched it in Australia, a week later in America, and a few months later in Amsterdam. And I did that circle for 15 years solid. And that resulted in having 90 of the best museums in the world stocking my work. So that was incredible.
Goodness, just amazing.
And winning quite a few design awards internationally.
Oh my gosh, just massive congratulations for this
Thank you.
epic, epic success.
Yep,
It's such
completely
a
unplanned,
cool
but
story.
rolling with the punches sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like I I've never really been someone to believe in luck. I think luck is the preparation. It's a crossroads between opportunity and preparation. But
Hmm.
I'm hearing your story and I'm wondering, it feels rare. I don't really know anyone else, and that might just be also because of, everything's the map of the world that I'm in, and I'm often around people that have to hustle, and there's a lot of grit, and there's a lot of rejection, and
There is in mine as well. I mean, it's
right,
really hard work. It's not a given. I
yeah.
work really, really hard at it. Um, and I do believe there is luck in life, but a lot of it is really dedication and sticking to your sort of to your goal and to your dreams.
Part of what I love about your story, Iris, is that, which is similar to mine, it came from a place of deep authenticity,
Yeah, it's
self-expression.
really doing what I love and not compromising on
Yeah.
any level. and really believing in it and going full on with it, no compromises whatsoever. And it is difficult. It's not an easy road, but it's very real. It's what you get, what you see is what you get. There's no smokes and mirrors at all.
Yeah. Can I ask you, within that story, what were some of the challenges that you faced along the way?
Plenty. There are doubts. I mean, even when I was, doing the trade shows and you stand next to stands that would sell so much more than me and they've got a lot more mass appeal. My product doesn't have mass appeal. My product is very niche and it appeals to a very specific woman, which is wonderful. I love that. But it's also difficult when you stand in a trade show and you're standing next to another trade, a stand that sells to mass market and they're selling gazillion products and I'm not. It's like you start doubting yourself and you start thinking, oh, am I doing the right thing? And is it good enough? And, the imposter syndrome creeps in and all the rest of it. But I think I really love what I do. And I really truly believe that what I'm giving is a beautiful, high quality product with an enormous amount of integrity and love. So I don't doubt what I give, but when I stand next to a stand like that that sells, I don't know, $2 product that is, made in China sheets. So you do doubt yourself because they're selling gazillions and I'm selling 10. Do you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
does creep in. But I think I really trained myself to know that you need to find your tribe. You just need to do your thing, and the right people will gravitate towards it. And what I've found over the years, I've been doing it for 17 years now. And what I found is that people that get it absolutely love it and collect my work for years. I've got 8,000 collectors over the world.
Wow.
And a lot of them have 20, 30, 40. I've got one collector that I know of that has 72 pieces of my collection.
Wow.
But most of them would have 10, 20, 30 easily. And they keep coming back. My return customer rate is enormous because they love it, because it just speaks to them, but it doesn't speak to everyone.
Yes.
And I'm absolutely fine with that.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it's funny because in my mind, I was going to, well, I wonder what that stallholder was thinking. We're next to this woman who's been in museums and she's won awards. And, I think it's just
Yeah,
that humanness of comparing and that imposter syndrome. And,
yeah,
we know it's the basics of personal development, which is the basics of running a successful business,
yeah.
which is you have to keep in check your belief system and you have to
And
surround
also
yourself with the right
really
people.
believe and trust yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you do that? Like, if Iris, is there a way that you personally have found? Like, is it watching your thoughts, noticing? Is it a meditation practice? Is it like what is your go-to to keep that all, in alignment?
It's a combination of a few things. Um, it is, I'm very intuitive naturally.
Yeah.
And if something feels right, I go for it. I do not compromise. If something doesn't, I do not go for it, even if it's very shiny and attractive.
Yeah, I think that's you if anyone's listening and you're still stuck there, I think I was stuck there for a while and we were actually just chatting you and I before we hit record and I had a big shift at the end of last year and start of this year where I just decided actually I really value what I bring to the table, my
Mhm.
knowledge, my experience, my degrees, all of those things. And so I'm going to be calling in all of the projects that I'm doing, the people that love me and see me and respect me. And
Mhm.
those that don't for any reason, it's all good.
Fine.
Love and
Yeah.
light to you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And it was such an internal shift, and that's changed so much for me this year that I really have welcomed in people that love me, that see me, that respect me, that value my time. It's just been the most beautiful, amazing shift. So,
Mhm.
if anyone is listening or watching on YouTube, and it's just you're still kind of teetering on that kind of border of like, how do I, bring myself across to believe in it? Do you have any words of wisdom for that person, Iris?
Um, the way I do it is quietening the mind and really, really trusting your gut instincts, like not listening to the surrounding and really quietening the noise and seeing what really resonates with you, what makes you feel this is it. And we all have it, but we also have those conflicting thoughts and imposter syndromes and uncertainty. We all have it. And I think as I've matured, I mean, I'm 56, and I would say that in the last 5 years, I've really gotten good at it. Before that, I was very I was doubtful and I didn't believe in myself as much as I do now. And I think part of it is experience and aging and really knowing that whatever we bring to the table is 100% us, like you and me. It's us wholly, truly, with all the faults and the flaws that we have. But those faults and flaws and failures that we've had over the years are actually so valuable lessons that we can actually carry forward and teach others that they can benefit from it. So no one is perfect. And once you understand and really embody that, you understand that, we are so valuable with our flaws and with our faults and with our shit. I mean, we all have those
Yeah.
things, but those are the things that teach us right from wrong and teach us what feels right.
Yeah.
And I really followed that wholeheartedly, intuitively.
I love that so much. There's so much wisdom and so
Mhm.
much power in those words. And I definitely can resonate. So I'm in my 40s. I'll be 45 at the end of this year. And I've got
Can I
so
tell
many,
you,
yeah.
it gets better and better as
I
you
was
age.
going to say, I feel it's getting better. I feel like
It
I'm
will.
really coming into my own. I'm around women that are like my partner's also older than me, my life partner. And a lot of my close friends and my clients and like they're 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And I've also got younger friends too, but I love the wisdom of experience and surrounding myself and learning from others.
It's I think twofold. It's the experience, but it's also acceptance. Acceptance that we are human
Yeah.
and we have good and bad, and it's all part of this journey. And once you accept the not so shiny and not so nice, you actually see them as strengths. But it's the acceptance that is the first stage. Once you accept that you are human and you have good and bad, the bad is part of you. When you accept that, it's actually an amazing teacher.
It's liberating, isn't it?
It
Some people
is.
call that
It,
shadow
it
work.
really gives you a lot of peace of mind and a lot of self-acceptance and less doubt.
And it removes that tendency. I don't know if you ever had this, but to be perfect, because what there's no perfect. We're going to make mistakes.
There isn't. And, even in my own work, in my design, I launch one new design a month and I would draw hundreds of ideas. And from those hundreds of ideas, I will really distill it to 20 or 15 each time. But that's after doing hundreds of them. And when I distill it to the 15 winning ones that I think are the best ones that I'm going to actually go with and launch, you just, not all of them are winners. Some are good, some are not. But you don't know that. I go with my intuition and I go with my gut instinct that I feel like this is brilliant. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm very wrong. But you know what? It's part of the journey. So I launch it. But the way I do it is very um, careful, I guess. Now that I actually didn't finish my story, but pre-pandemic in
Yeah.
2018, I actually had a stroke and I had to stop.
Yes.
So I was working very, very hard in my business, being super successful, but my body wasn't coping because I was working 24/7 all the time. And it was me and two other girls hand making everything and exporting all around the world. I was living on adrenaline rush all the time. I was very excited, but my body couldn't cope. And in 2018, I had a stroke and I was forced to stop. Like I just could not continue. And it was a very scary time, but it was also a really big lesson and a time to pause. And I've changed my business completely after that. I
Oh,
stopped the travel, I stopped the wholesale, and I went online. And now my business structure has completely changed. And I love it because now I don't travel as much. I don't have to make as much, and I have direct contact with the end consumer. Whereas before, my contact was with the museum buyers. So they would come and they would say, I want 10 of this and 5 of this according to their sales statistics, but they didn't really know the products as much as the end consumer, as the wearer. So I had a fantastic relationship with them, but it wasn't as intimate as the wearer. And then once I couldn't travel anymore and I stopped the wholesale and I focused on online and I started heavily going into the digital world, I discovered these 8,000 collectors that have been collecting my work for over so many years and I never knew them.
Wow.
And all of a sudden they were coming out of the woodwork saying, oh my God, they're my favorite pieces and I've got so many of them. And every time I wear them, I get heaps of compliments and I absolutely love them. And that connection with the end consumer was actually my favorite thing. And it is still my favorite thing. So that was sort of the highlight of that. But also, I've changed my life completely in terms of priorities. So I don't work 24/7 anymore. I prioritize my health. So I exercise every morning. I'm still in my gym gear, by the way.
Oh, you look
So
so elegant.
I exercise every morning and I eat healthy and I go to sleep early and I don't work on weekends. So my health became a huge priority and uh, everything has changed through that.
I love that story and so important because we absolutely
I
have
was
to have.
forced to.
Yeah, and look, and thank you so much for sharing that very intimate and beautiful story. I often talk about losing my mum when I was 27 and pregnant, and mum was 61, and we found out she had gallbladder cancer, and then 21 days later she transitioned, and that was that. And so
Mm,
part of my learning was I would witness this woman who loved everybody, but had, in my opinion, no connection to mind and body and was not listening to the signs of take a rest, love yourself, don't eat that, eat this, don't push, don't push. And so my learning was so harsh that I almost felt like I went the opposite, where I became, it's definitely not selfish, but what I would call extreme self-care.
mhm.
And I'm also an empath. I'm an intuitive. I've got a lot of different things working with energy. And there's a lot that goes on in my mind and my body when I'm
We
around
all do.
anybody. Absolutely. And so that especially means that I need extra downtime. And I give myself that.
My downtown time is
Yeah.
the design, is the making. I just love being in the studio.
Yes. And then, you talked about the early nights and the gym and just everything else. So making sure that we're living our purpose and we've got these, beautiful, profitable businesses, but also our body is the vessel and being able to honor that as well is so, so beautifully
Yeah.
important. Can you share with us, switching gears slightly, Iris, but you spoke a few moments ago about quieting the mind, and I would love to find out, what does spirituality mean to you?
Being in tune and really listening to my inner voices and allowing them to surface, even sometimes when I don't like them, but really allowing them to surface, I think is really important.
I think my sense with you also, because you're in such a creative industry. I mean, we all create in different ways.
Mhm,
I see yours as that sort of traditional creative because there's a lot of, work with the hands and
mhm,
drawing and things like that. And being able to have access to that intuition is probably, I'm sure, part of your process. Is that,
mhm.
yeah.
It is.
Is there anything that you do to, I guess, heighten or cultivate, accessing that part of you?
Yeah, definitely. Spending time alone is essential for me. And I do that every day. Sometimes it's in the studio, sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's just being, but it's being in quiet, like really not being distracted with noise or sound or visual or anything. It's just me with myself. And I do that every day. Um, I also go to a health retreat every year since the stroke. It's a must. I don't compromise that. And I've actually just returned last week. I was in Guyana
I was
in
just going to say, because I've been there a number of times myself,
yeah.
and yeah, it's a beautiful
So since my stroke, I go every year, and I've just returned last week. It's been amazing.
beautiful. Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing location. I think you answered this question, but let's see how we go with it. How do you integrate spirituality into entrepreneurship?
Being authentic, and really listening to your inner voice. So whether I do it in design, whether I do it in my relationship with my collectors, whether I do it with my stockists, like it's real. Like it's really wanting whoever you deal with, whether it's the stockist or the collector, to really love what they have. Like when I give them a piece that I made, it's made with so much love and intention. And I really believe the piece carries that through. When you receive a handmade piece, it really carries energy. And I really believe that whoever wears it, they feel it and they love it. And that's why they keep coming back for more. And I've got stockists that have been stocking in sync since the day I started, and they still stock it today.
Wow.
So, and actually this afternoon, I just sent an order to a gallery in New South Wales that have been stocking me since day dot. So that is a sign that what I'm doing is right.
Absolutely. And I'm just thinking back, you were so gracious. I had a workshop, my goodness, it was a year ago, and you were so beautiful in sending, like, I think it was little gifts or something that you discussed with me, and we'd organized it. And I was actually quite taken aback. It was my first workshop in a long time. It was quite a vulnerable time for me emotionally. And I received it in the mail, and I could feel your warmth. And I
Mm,
could see how much just attention to detail from your logo and the colors and the feeling, and like I think you even like had a little like a handwritten note to me. Like there was just so many elements in there, and I hope I'm sure I would have, because it's not my style not to respond and say thank you so
you did.
much.
You did.
But I just wanted to also again say thank you for doing that, and I imagine that that's the sort of thing that you do with all of your collections
I
and
do. So when you receive a parcel from me, I very intentionally make sure that I hit all your senses. So when you open the parcel pops open and there's a scent that is custom made for me that
oh
I absolutely
wow.
love. And the piece is very tactile. So visually it's stunning. Scent, so the scent is beautiful, and I get so many comments that they love it. And a lot of women come back and want to purchase that scent because they love it so much, and it lingers for a very long time because it's an oil that is embedded within the packaging. So months later, you'll still have that scent. And then, and I include some chocolates that I really like and a handwritten note. So it's really trying to access all the different senses and making you feel loved on every level. And they love it. I get so many comments of my collectors always saying they cannot wait to receive their parcel in the post, because once they receive it, it's like you open up a parcel full of love.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's like it's not then just jewelry. It's an experience that
Mhm.
your clients are having with you
Mhm.
to connect back, and
It is the connection. It is an
yeah.
ongoing connection that I just love.
So beautiful. And can we see, this is for those watching on YouTube, you've got your beautiful earrings there. I
Yeah,
don't know if you happen to have anything. Are they from this season, or is this a little while ago?
a while ago, but I've got quite a few favorites that I
Yeah.
alternate.
Do you happen to have, and sorry, I should have asked you earlier, but do you happen to have anything that you can hold up and show us from season just past or season coming up if you want to do anything?
I can bring some if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it. If you're happy to do that, why not?
Sure, give me a
Yeah,
sec.
of course.
I grabbed
Okay, and we're back.
I grabbed just a few brooches and earrings just as an example. So this is a brooch.
Oh, so gorgeous.
So that is stainless steel.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay, I can. To me,
Okay.
I'm seeing that it looks like petals, but I know that it
It's a
may just be
flower.
abstract.
This
Yeah.
is another one
Oh, how cool.
called rings. And this is another brooch. Very creative,
Oh,
scribbly
how
brooch.
gorgeous. Yeah. It's almost like an artist kind of
Yep.
paintbrush. Yeah.
These are one of my favorite earrings. Scribbly.
Oh, how cool.
I love them.
Beautiful.
They go with my curly hair.
Yeah.
This is another
Oh, I love those. That's gorgeous.
another one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And they're three-dimensional.
Oh, wow. So good.
And they're all super light and hypoallergenic, so you don't even feel that they're on.
It's also
That has
gorgeous.
two layers, and you can wear it one or two
Oh,
layers.
wow.
And that's another one with 2 layers.
Oh, how beautiful. So you can actually, when you say 2 layers, you can actually remove one of those layers and have
Yeah.
it.
So
Oh,
you can,
wow. Oh my God, that's very cool.
I'll show you. So you can actually
Oh, that's super cool. And then you've
do
just got the,
one layer or two.
it's beautiful. So good. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
So that's what I make. They're all hypoallergenic stainless steel with 22 karat gold and powder coated, and they're super light and very, very comfortable and very much compliment inducing. Like every time you wear it, people stop
yeah,
you in the street and it starts conversation with like-minded people, which I really love.
it's absolutely beautiful. And it sounds like you ship worldwide as
I do.
well. Yeah,
I do.
gorgeous. I have one, well, actually two lucky last questions for you. Can you please let us know what self is your favorite and why? And I'm referring here to the 6 L's framework, which is just behind me.
I would say the spiritual.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually, so I've got a few of those selves, as
Yeah.
we all do, I think.
Yeah.
But the spiritual would be the most because I just feel like spiritual is the most authentic and the real you, good and bad, but it is your core, and once you accept yourself with your good and your bad, you actually you live so much more peacefully and you actually enjoy the journey a lot more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Mm.
And you mentioned that you had another couple of other ones. Which ones did you also resonate with?
The valued,
Yeah.
because I learned to value myself a lot more as I've aged. Um, as I said previously, I mean, especially as a teenager, you always compare yourself and you always think that the others are better and whatever. But as you grow older, you understand that no one is perfect and everybody has their faults, and then just you embrace your own faults and thinking, you know what? I'm happy with my lot.
Yeah, beautifully said. And was there another one that you wanted to also share?
Look, there's a little bit in all of them, but
Yeah,
these would be the two strong
two
ones.
one. Beautiful, beautiful sharing. Lucky last question, Iris, is what advice do you have for others who are creating a business that serves both the world and their heart?
Be authentic, really and truly connect to others as you would like to be um, connected to. Just give fully. You just can't go wrong. Seriously, if you are 100% giving fully, you'll always get back. And it is hard work. And I'm not saying it's an easy road, but it's so rewarding. And, you go to sleep feeling very fulfilled and you feel like, I'm just doing the right thing. And it feels good.
Beautiful sharing. Is there anything else that you want to leave our listeners and watchers with before we connect off?
I wish people will be less obsessed with being young. I just love getting older and I love this journey and I love the learning and just embrace all your good and bad. And seriously, once you do, everything becomes so much better.
Beautiful. Very wise words. Thank you, beautiful Iris. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. It was really lovely.
The information provided on this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered medical, health, or financial advice. Always consult with a qualified health professional or financial advisor before making any decisions related to your personal health or finances.